been having sex regularly 2 or 3 times a week for 12 months with no sign of a pregnancy anywhere, don't lose hope. There are solutions to your problems, and they are right here in this country. Welcome to Healthy You. My name is Kafui Day, and my guest is a fertility consultant with 8 years of experience. Welcome to the show, Lucinda Ochre.
Thank you very much, sir.
How prevalent is the problem of fertility in Ghana?
It's quite prevalent now because people are doing a lot of work, people are busy, and they have to attend to a lot of things. So it's quite prevalent now than before.
I heard that sometimes it's just a question of not having sex the right way. Is that true?
It could be. Sometimes the timing is wrong, the positioning is wrong, and even how to do the act. Some people get it wrong.
Let's take those one at a time. What is the right time to have sex?
Okay, the right time to have sex is, as you said, 2 to 3 times in a week if you want to achieve a pregnancy. The right positioning is the normal positioning that people don't want.
What is the best position or the right position to make a woman pregnant?
The best position will be the missionary position, where the man is on top and the woman is down. It helps in sperm concentration in the vagina.
Okay, so yes. the woman is facing the guy while he's on top.
Yeah, really.
Okay, and so that should do the trick. But if you've been having your regular missionary 2 or 3 times a week, almost like a drug, for a year and nothing is happening, what's your next step?
Then you need to seek fertility assistance. Then technically we can say that you are having primary infertility, because if you have sex 2 to 3 times in a year consistently,
in a week for a year,
for 1 year, and you do not get pregnant, then we can say that you are infertile. You have primary infertility.
If you look at the causes of infertility, men versus women, where does the problem tend to come from?
Generally, we'll say that most of the problems come from women. About 60% of the cause of infertility is from the female, 40% from the male, because the women are receptive. So we believe that once you are receiving a good sperm, you should get pregnant. But most often you find that 60% of the time, the women don't get that chance to.
Okay, let's focus first of all maybe on the men and we'll get back to the women. So, right. Good sperm, when you say you're receiving good sperm, what is good sperm?
A good sperm, one, there should be a good ejection. It should be able to come out of the penis. Okay. If it's staying in there without coming out, it may be good in there, but once it hasn't fertilized the baby, it's not good enough. So once there's ejection, one, the sperm should be motile. They should be able to move. If you deposit them in the vagina and they are not able to move towards the egg, it's useless. They should be able to look normal. Normal like the normals. About 60% of them should look normal.
Or like with a tail and a head. And
with a tail and a good head, they should look good. Yes.
A handsome sperm. Listen, so I mean, that which comes out of the penis during ejaculation, that is semen, right?
That is semen.
And then the sperm is inside the semen.
That contains the sperm.
Okay, so it's got to be healthy.
Very healthy, very liquid, very nice, and look very good. Okay,
and then so a woman is receiving good sperm and she's not getting pregnant. What will be the problem then?
Then they have to seek for counseling. Okay. Most of the time, it might be nothing. Just counseling can do the trick. Sometimes you investigate further and then you realize maybe there's a blockage, there's something, the woman is frigid. They have other conditions of the uterus, then you carry it from there.
When you say a woman is frigid, what do you mean?
You know, sex is purely psychological. Fertility in itself is psychological. You have to relax so that all the smooth muscles in the pelvic region can relax. Then the very fragile sperms can travel through the tubes and meet the eggs. Fertilization will take place, and then they'll be able to come back and settle in their uterus. If you are tense, you are not relaxed, you are stressed most of the time, this thing cannot happen.
Is it possible, say, during the sex act that a woman can be so tense that she'll probably just close, not allow the sperm to enter her? Is it possible?
Sometimes it's possible, because the fallopian tubes where the sperms are going to pass to meet the eggs, they are muscles. So when you are very tensed and anxious, they go into spasms, and then they prevent the sperm from traveling through it. So this can be a problem.
Okay, that's a lot of stuff I'm learning here today. So now, for example, if a man is normal and has good sperm and everything, and he's not able to make the woman pregnant. What are the options, really?
Okay, there's a lot of options. One, we'll start from the basics. You have to admit that you have a problem. Because of our culture, sometimes it's difficult for a man to say, I think I have a fertility issue. For a woman to say, I have a fertility issue. So they have to accept that we've gone through a year of active sex without a baby, so we need to seek for help. That's a very bold step. Once they're able to do that, they go through counseling, they go through various lab investigations, they go through scans, then we decide where to put them on the scale of fertility.
Now let's shift a bit to the women. We've talked a lot about the men now. So you were saying 60% of the problems can come from a woman. Can you list what the problems could be?
Okay, in relation to women, because they have the uterus, they have the tubes, they have the eggs, and they are carrying the baby, all these parameters must be good. So psychologically, you must be stress-free. It's almost impossible. But you have to try and maintain a certain level of anxiety and stresses. Now, there's something we call the blockage. If there's any blockage along the line that the sperm will travel, it can be a hindrance. So the tubes, if there's fibroids in the uterus, they all pose problems. Then we have hormonal issues where the ovaries are not functioning well, so the eggs are not produced. Then we also have people who have genetic issues, PCOS, they all contribute.
What's PCOS?
Polycystic ovarian syndrome.
Wow, big word. What does it mean?
It's a condition that affects just women where they produce a lot of ovaries, a lot of eggs,
Okay.
but the eggs are not matured enough to be fertilized. So you check on scan and you see that they have ovaries like giants, but they're not producing any good eggs. The eggs grow, they are not able to mature, and then they just die off. Yes. So they also need to be treated.
Abroad, you hear of sperm donation,
Yeah.
egg donation, and I'm wondering in Ghana, what's the situation?
It happens in Ghana way back. Yes, we have sperm donors, we have egg donors. We even have surrogacy in Ghana here. Yes. We have, yes, like adoption and stuff.
Okay, so let's take the one by one. So sperm donation, what happens? If I want to donate my sperm for some reason, what do I do?
Okay, that would mean there's somebody out there, like a male out there who has infertility problems. So he comes in, discuss with the nurse or the doctor, they want a sperm donor. So you go outsource for a sperm donor. So you speak to people who are qualified, and then you counsel them through sperm donation, and then they donate.
How do you qualify a man to be a viable sperm donor?
Okay, a man will have sperm in there. They have to be able to produce the sperm. Then you take it through semen analysis to make sure they're motile, they're normal, and the quantity is enough. Then you say that this person is qualified to be a donor.
Okay.
Then you check their IQ, you check their background, you do the hormonal tests, you do a lot of investigations to make sure they don't have any genetic diseases, they're very stable in mind. Then you can classify them as a good donor.
Okay, and then what, he just masturbates into a bottle or something? What happens?
Relatively, that's what they do.
Relatively?
Relatively.
I was thinking that would be the only way, really.
Well, sort of. Sometimes you can go into the testes and just do a simple, procedure and collect the semen.
Okay.
Yes.
Without him having to masturbate?
No.
You go into the... But isn't
Yeah,
that invasive? Isn't that dangerous?
You seek their consent. It's not dangerous. It's done. It's called testicular biopsy. So you just take a sample from where the sperm is produced.
Okay.
And then you just use it.
And this
if
is done
they
here?
can't masturbate. It's done in Ghana here, right?
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. And then for women, I heard that it's quite a painful process to extract your eggs.
That one too is relative. It is not painful because they give you medications where you are relaxed. Sometimes you won't even feel it. It's not a surgery where they will cut you and collect your eggs. They go through the vagina with very tiny cannulas, and sometimes you don't even feel it.
What's a cannula?
It's just a rubber tube that they pass through the vagina, get through the ovaries, and then they just plug the eggs.
How big are these eggs? I'm just curious.
Minute. You can't see them.
But then what
You
does
see
the
them
cannula...
under the microscope.
Okay.
So they use, we use ultrasound guided probes just to do it, just like you're doing a regular vaginal scan. Yeah.
I'm just curious. I mean, the production of eggs. How many eggs are there when this cannula is going fishing for
Eggs. Well, every month, every woman recruits about 100 eggs.
Wow.
Every regular woman who is menstruating recruits about 100 eggs. These 100 eggs, by the time they get to maturity, you have about one lead-in. So that one gets fertilized and you get pregnant.
Okay.
That's 100. We are born with about 1 million egg storage.
Wow.
That's what God gives us. So every month you recruit some until you become menopausal. So what we want to do is that instead of just growing up to one, we give you like up to 20, 15 to 20, so we can collect all those eggs and fertilize them.
Okay.
It's possible.
Is it possible to store these eggs and sperm somewhere? Maybe for some reason you may not want to have a child now or something. You want to keep the sperm and the eggs safe somewhere. Is that a facility possible?
Yes, it is very possible. That's called cryo-freezing. Cryo-freeze, where we do, women decide that they don't want to have babies now. They want to do it later on. So they come in, we have their eggs collected, and we have them frozen. You can keep them for at least 10 years, and then they have them transferred. But it's not all the best. Sometimes the best way to do it is to fertilize the eggs, have embryos. Embryos can be frozen there for a very long time.
An embryo?
A very long time.
Can be frozen for how long?
10 years. Yes.
Wow.
All you need, you thaw, you transfer, you have your baby.
You're watching A Healthy You right here on GhOne TV, and we're speaking with a fertility consultant. I'm speaking with a fertility consultant, Lucinda Ochre. We're looking at issues of fertility, so stay with us. Now, this is interesting. So, I'm wondering, these eggs and sperm, I hope there's a way of labeling them correctly, so you don't go give my sperm to somebody's sperm to somebody that I'm supposed to be fertilizing. Very
unlikely, because the cryo-freezing is not like a big freezer where we keep tuna, salmon, meat, chicken. No. You have a cryo-freeze container for one person. It's labeled. You have your eggs, you have your semen or your embryos. You have another one for another person. If it's done, then it's done intentionally. Yes.
Do you have women who are looking for sperm donors specify the kind of man they want, a designer baby? So I want a 6'4", brown eyes.
Oh yes,
they
come in with a host of characteristics. They want tall people, want busty. They want a bit of, like the African shape, like something. People want tall men, light skin. Some people want white. We get all sorts of.
Can they get their money back if they don't get what they want?
You try to give them what they want. If you don't give them, you have to give their money back.
Is it quite a popular practice, sperm donation, egg donation in Ghana?
It's catching up. Yes, it's catching up with time. Previously, it used to be insane to go donate your eggs, to go donate your sperm. But now, with counseling and lots of education, you give people hope that even if you don't have eggs, you don't have sperm, there's a way of having a baby.
It says donate, but do people get paid?
We don't pay them. We give them a token just for the trouble they go through.
What is it, a cup of Milo or what?
No. Some people, you give them just a little financial token, but we don't call them like we're paying you for your eggs. Okay. We can't pay for an egg.
All right. But can you have people who come and say maybe every month they want to donate sperm for you?
Oh, weekly.
Almost like a job.
Almost
every week.
Like a week or two.
You have people coming to donate their sperm every week?
Voluntarily. People do it voluntarily.
Who are these people? Students?
Not students. You get people who have been through issues like this before. They want to help other people. And sometimes people just walk in and they want to find out, is it possible to donate a sperm to somebody? Okay. You get people once in a while walk in and do all those things.
It looks like Ghanaians are quite kind people. Okay, so beyond egg donation and sperm donation, what are the other fertility options that are open to people in Ghana?
Okay, we do IUI, intrauterine insemination. We do IVF.
Easy. IUI is when you do what?
Okay, IUI, intrauterine insemination, where we grow your eggs, literally, and then we fertilize the eggs inside you, the woman.
Okay.
That's IUI. IVF is when we grow the eggs. Intrauterine.
Okay, but the IVF stands for what?
In vitro fertilization.
Okay, all right.
That one, we collect the eggs, we fertilize it outside. Then we transfer the embryos into the woman's.
So when you fertilize it in a petri dish or what?
We call them test tube babies.
Test tube, okay,
yes,
all right.
like petri dish. Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Lucinda Archery is a fertility consultant, and you've gotten your A to Z on fertility issues right here on GH Today. This is Healthy You. Next week, the show returns, same time. Stay with us.